Hi, my loves, it's Chelsea. And if you haven't watched my last video, it's about abandonment. I think you should watch it as well. You can watch it before this one or after, it doesn't really matter. But it ties into this, okay? And this one's about forgiveness. Now, I'm talking about this because that's what I'm currently going through. Like, that's what I'm healing, right? But this video is, I guess, not more important than the other video, than abandonment, but it is the thing that's helping me work through my abandonment wounds. So I hope that if you really want to work on this, you watch both, because I just want you to understand that, like, I can give you advice anytime you want, but I think sometimes we just need to hear that people are on the same journey, or people go through the same things that, we do, and just feel a little motivation towards doing it. So, forgiveness. I want to say first and foremost that forgiveness isn't something that you have to do. Okay? And I think I've said this before. It doesn't really matter whether I have or I haven't, because I'm saying it now, but you can choose to forgive in the moment, or you can choose to not forgive in the moment. And then with time, right? After growth, after more wisdom, after, I don't know, a change of perspective, you can learn that forgiveness is better for you. You have every single right to change your mind about anything in this world. And an important step is taking a look at yourself. Because I can tell you myself that I've not been my biggest cheerleader, as I've talked about previously. And so one of the things that was really important for me was forgiving myself for being so mean, for being controlling, for not being trusting, for abandoning myself so early on, so many times. And I knew I was doing it when I was doing it. And it wasn't good. It didn't feel good to do it. But I did it because I thought that it was the right thing to do. Not for me, but for others, you know? And most of the time, and the reason I want to talk about forgiveness at all, most of the time, when you think about your life, most people tend to want to blame other people for their misery, for their pain. And I completely understand that, the way we grew up, the way people treated us affects us. Everyday circumstances can affect you when somebody treats you bad, But we have to be willing to look in the mirror, We have to be willing to say, whatever so and so tells me won't affect me, because that's a them problem, not a me problem. And sometimes we get triggered by things that other people say because we already believe it in ourselves, or because whatever they're saying or whatever they're doing is something we don't like about ourselves. We always have to try to see the other side, the side that we don't want to see, the side that we're fighting against, that we feel so defensive about. And so for a long time, and I mean a long time, I wasn't willing to forgive those who had hurt me. I remember 5 years ago beginning the process of wanting to forgive, and thinking a year after that I had forgiven. And maybe I did a little bit. But last year, I realized that there was a lot that I hadn't forgiven, and I wasn't willing to budge. I wasn't willing to forgive, and I wanted to. I wanted to so badly, and I wish I could explain to you how badly I wanted to forgive, because I wanted to do it for myself, right? Because if you can't If you can't do it for yourself, then how will you be free of it, right? It's not about them. F them, honestly. And I just struggled and struggled and struggled with myself about it because I felt like something was wrong with me because I just couldn't forgive, and I got angry with myself. But recently, with all these changes that I feel like are happening internally and externally, I felt like I cannot move forward in happiness and joy if I can't be willing to forgive. And I can't have the life that I want if I keep the wounds of my past. If I could explain it another way, it's like imagine yourself constantly picking at a wound, right? You're constantly picking at a wound. You're not letting it heal, And I was doing that. And it's like, obviously, sometimes you can't see when people are doing it, but I could see that I was picking at a wound, and it kept scabbing over and scabbing over, and it never was healing because I didn't want it to heal, because I wanted to be angry. I was angry. And I am still a little bit angry. But I want to share something with you. Something that I am learning. We have to be willing to accept people as they are. We cannot, and I mean we cannot under any circumstance, judge them or be mad at them for being exactly who they are. No matter how much we deserve better, no matter how much potential we see in them, we cannot view them with the expectation of who we think they should be, but truly accept them as they actually are. And so, you have to be willing to forgive. And it won't be easy. And it might take you an entire lifetime. And there might be things you may never want to forgive. The most important thing I want you to learn from me, from this video right in this moment, is that the majority of the things that we keep, that we're angry about, that we're resentful about, they're just keeping us stuck in this perpetual state of misery of our own making. And we not only have to forgive others, but we really have to learn to forgive ourselves. And through that forgiveness, have grace for ourselves and for others. The biggest, most important thing in this life is not working. It's not figuring out what your next goal is. It's not whatever people say it's about. It's about finding enjoyment in life. True peace and enjoyment. But you can't have that unless you choose it. And in order to choose it, you need to first choose to heal and let go of things that don't align with you, that hurt you. And I want you to remember something else. And I don't know if I've said this before, but the moment you open, healing is never done. Because the moment you open one door, something else will come out. And there's nothing wrong with that. There is nothing wrong with that. I promise you, there's nothing wrong with that. It's life. And it's beautiful. It's beautiful to keep growing and evolving. Because while, yes, something else might come and it might make you sad, or it might bother you, it might make you angry. The more these things happen, the more you realize what you deserve, what you don't deserve, what you like, what you don't like. Just learn to be okay in the present moment. Enjoy yourself in this life. And if you choose to join me on this journey of healing and evolving, do it. It'll make your life peaceful. Yeah, there will be hard moments, but overall, I can tell you that it feels amazing to know that I dedicate so much time to be a better person than I was yesterday. And right now, I'm in between this healing of abandonment and forgiveness. But one day I'll be out of it. And maybe I'll have to do it again in another shape or form. But at least I won't carry what I've been carrying thus far. And that's the important part. So, really, I'm proud of you for even listening to this video. And I hope you subscribe. And I hope you like. And I hope you comment. Because I want to be a part of your life. I want to help you find your fulfillment. And I want to motivate you. Much love, much light, and much healing. I'll see you in the next one. Mwah.